Hello guys, I'm fresh back from a week away in Greece, and I know you've just got back from Paris, haven't you, Jake?
I have indeed. We've had back-to-back holidays, haven't we?
So I'm going to start this.
Pastries and a slippery tongue.
Very much so. So I'm going to start this episode with a question, and that question is very topical. Where would you like to go on vacation in a video game universe? This isn't live. This is a short 1 week trip in a video game world.
Ooh, good one.
Skyloft.
Oh yeah, that'd be good actually.
Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lovely chill little place, island hopping on not little, massive birds. Go farming, visit the temple. Be great.
Nice.
That does sound pretty cool. I feel like the one in Mario Sunshine should be mentioned.
Oh yeah.
Wild Delfino.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah.
Just because that's where Mario goes on holiday, apparently. So,
I'm always imagining like beach levels. So I'm thinking of like, is it Costa del Sol in Final Fantasy?
yes.
That is also in Spain. Yes. But
Yeah.
one in Final Fantasy.
The one in Final Fantasy is a really good one, actually. Yeah.
Is it actually called Costa del Sol?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I think Mario's is the better one.
Yeah.
Mario Sunshine one.
What were you, Ben?
I really don't know because I'd get bored in any little farming place. There'd be nothing to do. Because if I'm going to a game place, I want to kill stuff.
Yeah.
I suppose this is one of those rare instances where you could go to Cyberpunk or The Witcher for a week.
Oh yeah, go to
see what it's like, get the experience.
Yeah,
and then come back. But you get to come home.
Hopefully you survive.
If you survive. So you could go to Fallout Universe or something.
Raccoon City before the bomb.
Yeah, well, Ben would take a week away from work to go to Factorio.
Very true, yeah. Got to go and build a
Away from a
factory.
real factory to go to a fake factory.
Yeah. So what are you saying then, Ben?
I don't know. I'd like to see the world after the bombs from Fallout, really.
Why not? I don't know how that works.
I mean,
but yeah, why not?
I'd probably die.
I
would like
from a
to see
different
it
kind of radiation.
because I want to try the tech and I want to be in a suit and I
But
want
you
to.
could avoid the highly radiated areas.
It won't matter if I've got a T-45 power armor.
Yeah,
It won't matter,
yeah,
and I
why
get to
not?
try one.
Yeah. I do like the idea of going to Night City as well for a week because I feel like that could be quite touristy. Be like going to New York City, but with added danger.
Flying cars.
Definitely.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, with that then, let's introduce the podcast. So we are Gaming Garnish, the fortnightly podcast. I am Brad, the host of this episode, and I'm joined by the usual crew. We've got Jake.
Hello.
We've got Ben.
Hello.
And we've got Joe.
Hello.
Shall we start with what we've been playing?
Certainly can.
Jake, take us away.
Well, I suppose we've slightly talked about Cyberpunk. I have finally played Phantom Liberty, guys.
Yes.
All the way through?
All the way through. Got to the end.
Wow.
Nice. I don't think you'd started it last episode, had you?
No, I think I was basically playing through Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And I just got to the opening of the DLC, but not touched it yet.
Nice. And now you've finished the whole thing.
I have. It was fantastic.
Isn't it?
Really good story. Very Cyberpunk. There is no good outcome.
The game Cyberpunk's very sad.
Yeah.
You picked the opposite to what I picked, didn't you? So that's
we've
quite
been
interesting.
talking about it. Yeah.
Quite interesting to hear your thoughts on the ending. We won't spoil it.
Yeah. And I still don't know if I made the right choice. And I feel like that's what makes it so good.
Yeah, that happens regardless.
Yes.
If any choice you make in that game makes you feel like it was the wrong one.
Yeah.
I feel like I made the right choice. I just don't feel like it was the outcome I necessarily wanted. I wanted other things to happen, but out of all the choices, I still think I made the right choice.
I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
No regrets.
Yeah. I think they all have pretty bad consequences.
Yeah.
Whichever way you look at it.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, very cool. Just gets me really hyped up for the sequel, to be honest.
I definitely feel they learn from the main game.
Definitely. I really still like the main game. But when I think about the ending, it kind of almost pales in comparison to how Phantom Liberty ended.
It felt a bit more just like pick from one of these, 5 choices. And that's kind of it.
You're still doing the same mission, sort of.
Yeah, I'm more thinking you can get different choices depending on what you picked in Cyberpunk, but it still only comes down to you picking one of those choices. Whereas in Phantom Liberty, you got
it
a few
splits off
options
secretly earlier on.
Yeah, and there's like a few different options that can lead to more options. So like the option I picked, it took me down this whole different route. I had a whole different mission to what you had at the end. But even then, when it got to the end of that, there was still a couple of extra choices then as well.
And even finding after, so I've been playing it a lot afterwards as well, and I'm getting contacted by people afterwards as well to do like extra side stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like interesting that you meet Mr. Hands.
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
You actually see him.
You actually see Mr. Hands in it.
Some of those missions are the coolest missions.
Yeah,
definitely.
He's just a cool guy.
You mentioned it as well, Joe, that the gigs are all fleshed out, and I did quite a few of them, and they all are. They feel more like Witcher contracts.
Have you been and met any other people from those gigs afterwards and seen what they're doing in their life now?
No, actually. No, I didn't know.
There's a few that like they contact you about what they said they're going to do later, and you can go see how they are and stuff. That's really
cool.
good.
No, I didn't know that. That's cool. They usually have a choice at the end as well.
Yeah.
Which you don't know how it's going to go.
That's all stuff I wish I had more time to do. I wish the game, when I first played it, I wish this is what the game was, so that I would have experienced all that.
No,
but
definitely.
On the second playthrough, I didn't want to, but...
Yeah. I do feel like at the end, without giving any spoilers away, people could have just spoken to each other in a nice and sensible manner.
A good conversation could have fixed all of this.
Come to a better conclusion.
You mean like the bit at the funeral? That part?
I mean, that part especially, but more before that, because that's more like a side story that you don't really have to do at the end. But
it's really good.
Yeah.
Like doing those missions.
I got that.
Yeah, so you get contacted by Mr. Hands at the end to do something. Very vague, sorry guys.
It involves a certain implant you get in the story.
Yeah.
See, obviously the route I went mustn't have led to that.
Possibly not.
Which is interesting. Which is cool. Annoying, but cool. But I even thought like the mission design was a lot more impressive. Like that first mission, it was a bit maybe overly long.
Yeah.
But it was one of the most memorable missions in the whole of the game.
Definitely.
It was in the DLC.
And it just tried to mix things up with like putting in like heists and like
the bit in the casino was cool. Yeah. I mean, I had a whole horror section which you didn't get because of your choice.
Yes.
But that was different.
Cool. And the procedural stuff in Dogtown's always quite good because it allows you to get cyberware that you can't always get in the stores.
The random like smoke flares.
The loot drops,
Yeah, they were always
cool. I've also noticed that like even the shopkeepers, there's more to them.
You can chat to them about their life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I've never really did that.
Like one of them's a kid who sells like biochips or something.
Yeah, and there's a guy who sells fashion. He used to be a top-end designer until he moved to Dogtown, and then he got robbed of all his stuff.
Yeah, but you don't have to talk to him. You can just be like, shop.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. But
show me your wares.
It's really cool. If anybody's thinking about picking up Cyberpunk, and they were wary the last few years after the initial release, I definitely say now's the time and definitely get Phantom Liberty because I feel that's it at its best.
Yeah.
It's still a good game, but this is like
definitely
where you can see where it's going to go in a sequel.
Because there's still seams in the main game. You know, they've not fixed everything, but Phantom Liberty was like a pristine little bubble within.
No, definitely.
Within it. And it fits so seamlessly because it just happens in the middle of the campaign.
Yeah, it kind of like takes over a bit, I have to say.
But he doesn't have to.
Yeah, once you leave Dogtown, it's free reign.
Yeah, you can keep going, coming back and forth. But I just wanted to do Dogtown.
Yeah. Because I focused on my main mission on Dogtown, but I still did the character side quests from the main game. Yeah. So I'd still be coming and going.
Yeah, no.
And it worked well.
That's fair. Interestingly enough, I was going to bring this up in the news, but we might as well now while we're talking about Cyberpunk. They've slightly hinted about something that might happen in Cyberpunk 2 or 20, whatever.
Project Orion.
I think you're going to be in Night City and another city like Chicago, I think they said.
Yeah, they said that. They've also said Night City will be different.
Yes.
That means it must be set after or before then.
Yeah. Well, they've said it's going to be under max tac rule, I think they said.
Oh.
So what
definitely
that looks
after
like.
Then, I would think.
Yeah. I suspect it's going to look a bit more like Dogtown. You know, it's like as a whole city.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, some sort of like military rule.
We'll see.
Cool.
It's cool.
Looking forward to it.
No, definitely. But that's about me. I've played more of it. I'm coming towards the end again, I think.
You're going to meet Hanako at Embers.
Yes, that's come up. That mission's one of the next missions. But obviously, I'm trying to tie up all the loose ends before that. But I was going to put it down and go play something else after the DLC, but my brain is just...
You've got to finish the fight.
You have to finish it. You have to finish it, Jake.
Yeah.
What ending are you going to try and go with, do you think?
I don't know, actually. I think I might go, if it lets me do it, because I don't know if I've picked the right options, guns blazing.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you had to have picked the right thing in the junkyard.
Yeah, and I think I have, but I didn't really look into it, but I think I have. So it'd be cool to just like barge the doors down and just do it all myself. If not, the Nomads. I think I'll just do that again.
Yeah.
To be fair, that actually makes me think about something as well. So sorry if this goes on a bit too long, but I've got a question for you. When you play games like these RPGs and you're playing for a second time, do you actually try new builds?
Yes.
I have made the exact same build.
Yep.
Once again, I have a sniper that can shoot through walls. I have a power tech pistol, and then I have like slow time and a dash, and a katana and a rocket launcher attached to my arm. And that is exactly what I had last time.
You cover all bases.
Yeah.
I think it heavily depends on the context of the replay.
Yes.
So if it's a new game plus, I probably would stick to the whatever I was using, because that's what you expect anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm just starting afresh, it depends if I'm doing it straight away or within like a short space of time, then I probably will do things differently. Because I've played it recently. But when I played Cyberpunk again, it had been long enough and I wanted to experience it fresh with all the new updates. I kind of wanted to stick to the same build because that is the build I enjoy the most.
Well, this is it. Yeah.
So that's why I did. I think if the game was basically the same and hadn't changed, then I might have been more inclined.
I think if you play it really close to each other, like if you decided to do a whole new playthrough right off the back of finishing it, not new game plus, just a whole new playthrough, you would change it up. But because Cyberpunk's had all these updates, I wanted to see how it all felt with the new updates.
Yeah.
And that's how I like playing anyway. That's how I play my games anyway.
You're going to enjoy it.
So it is interesting. So Ben, you said that you just always play the same.
Yeah. Always the same.
I'm assuming it's shotgun.
Some sort of tank, shotgun. Sometimes there's a sword involved.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just always very, very similar. In most games I play.
I was just going to say, you go on to another game that's maybe a bit similar, you'll do the same thing again and again and again and again.
I've tried to more consciously select different classes recently, but there's nothing more frustrating than picking one that's different to what you normally pick and not enjoying it.
Yeah, I think that's it. It. What about you, Joe? You said that you would change.
In the context of this, I changed for Phantom Liberty because it's like a spy-based like DLC. So I went like all throwing knives and stealth and doing invisible stuff.
The throwing knives are pretty cool.
Yeah. Choking people out, putting them in bins. to be fair, there is a shotgun with a silencer attached.
There you go.
You did also play it quite a lot, Joe. Like Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So
I tried a lot of builds before.
Yeah.
But this, because they had the whole new perk tree, you could do a lot more with stealth.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
It's like every time I was strangling someone, I was going invisible and then dashing behind a box to get the next guy. Throw a knife at a camera, then as soon as you've thrown it and it's hit your target, you get another one back. Whereas in the base game, throwing knives are really limited because they didn't reload.
Yeah, you had
to go and get them from the body.
Yeah. I remember that from the initial playthrough, but then I tried it again at the start and I did really like it, but I just have a pistol at the same time.
But they make noise. Even the silenced ones make a bit of noise.
Yeah, that's true. It was really cool using them. I did like it.
If everyone's dead, there's no problem.
That's
just saying.
It can't be a problem if no one's alive.
I think it's a testament to how good the game is now, though, that you can play so many different builds.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool. Was that you then?
That was it. That's enough Cyberpunk. Sorry guys, we've talked about it enough.
Nice. Well, what about you?
Brad wants to play it again.
maybe one day. What about you then, Joe?
I've been addicted to retro gaming.
Wow.
Yes.
Is this because of our Buried by Backlog?
Because of the Backlog game, but I did get this before Mario was chosen as the Backlog game, just so I can play through all the old Pokemons.
Nice.
And I'm on Pokemon Emerald at the minute, and I've sunk over a day into it in hours.
It's funny you say that, because obviously I've just come back from Grace, and two of the people I was with were playing Pokemon. One of them was playing Emerald, and one of them was playing Fire Red on emulators. They just played like
on the phone.
Yeah. Because you couldn't. One of them brought a Switch, and they just went outside an OLED Switch, and just couldn't see it, which I knew would happen. But on the phone, see everything. So yeah, they were like tanning that all week.
So yeah, I've been playing Pokemon Emerald. I'm just done the 6th gym, the flying one.
Nice.
I've done a team I've never done before. I've got a Flygon, a Trico.
Look at Joe with his RPGs doing different things.
I know.
Well, that's it. Yeah, like we just talked about. Yeah.
So he's got
Pelipper. I've never used a Pelipper before.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to use a shotgun in Pokemon.
Yeah, I've got a Torkoal, but I've called him Weezer because he's full of smoke.
Nice.
Nice.
Aggron and a Sableye, which is my favorite Pokemon, which I've never actually been able to integrate into a team before because he's not that good.
yeah. I think he resists. He's got no
everything.
Weakness, has he?
He's got no weakness in this generation because Fairy type doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
That's why you did that really cool skull 3D.
Yes,
skull
that's
that
why.
Discord. Everyone should check that out because it's cool.
It's looking at me right now. It's in my spare room.
Nice.
It is very creepy if you don't know what it is. I brought it home and Courtney was like, "What's that?" I'm like, oh, don't worry, it's just my dead favorite Pokemon on a stick
and skinned.
But he kept his eyes, his beautiful blue eyes.
It's funny, it's a complete tangent, but obviously we've got 2 dogs, 2 huskies, and Lucy has mentioned that when they sadly pass in hopefully a million years, she wants to keep their skulls.
Well, like on the fireplace.
You can you can get people to like polish them and stuff. And you can
taxidermist.
I don't know.
Well, it's not taxidermy. Taxidermy, okay. I think is too far. But skulls, maybe. Skulls. Yeah, I'm open to it.
Yeah. But other than that, this marvelous little emulation station I've got going on, I've been playing some PlayStation 1 games.
Oh,
nice.
I've been playing my favorite racing game from that generation, called Ridge Racer Type 4.
Oh, Ridge Racer.
I did play some Micro Machines Victory. It's very good.
Nice.
But Ridge Racer, I'm so hooked on it. It's the best non-analog stick racer I've ever played.
Really?
Nice.
Because digital only inputs, it reacts like you're using an analog stick. It's crazy. It's so sensitive.
Nice one. I mean, it's good that it still holds up now. Like I think of a PS1 racing game, and I'm like, surely not.
Triangles and
yeah. It was touted as the most high fidelity graphics PlayStation 1 racing game that was ever made.
Nice.
But there's some of the car designs in it are so like out there and weird because in Ridge Racer they never have their own. I mean, they always have their own designs. They're never real cars, or if they are a real car, they put like spoilers and bumpers and stuff on it so it doesn't look like a real car.
Yeah.
There's this really cool one. It's got 3 wheels, like one at the back, 2 at the front. And it really reminded me of those. Have you ever seen Austin Powers 3?
Yes.
There's like
long time ago.
There's cars in that I think they might be based on this car from Ridge Racer.
Nice.
Because it was slightly before. But I love it. There's like lore in the game as well between the races. You speak to like your crew and your team and stuff, and there's like stories and drama going on between the teams. And if you stop and read it all, it's like a pretty cool story. Like one of the teams comes from nowhere. One's like a failed champion team. One of them's like an up and comer, and one of them's just had like $1 million handed to him and said, "Look, you go make a racing team, see what you can do." And they all like interact with one another behind the scenes, and you don't see that because you're just the race guy.
Yeah.
But they all talk about the other teams in these little conversations you have with them between races, and they all change depending on what position you came in the race. So if the qualifying in the first like stage of the Grand Prix, you got to come 3rd place. If you come 3rd, the conversation's entirely different to if you came 2nd and 1st and so on throughout the whole thing. So there's loads of conversations you can have with your team, and the car you get at the end of each stage is different depending on what position you've come. So there's actually like 320 cars in the game, which you won't see until you've done worse than you could do if you've done first place in every race.
That's pretty crazy for a PS1 game, and it's all stuff that we won't have noticed. You know, when you originally played that, I don't know how old you were, but
because I thought there was only like 10 cars in the game because they're all I ever saw.
But in that sort of time, you played it and played it and played it and played it because you had 4 games. You didn't have you didn't have that many.
Yeah, you never
didn't have the mega backlog that we all have now.
You never tried to unlock a car and it asks for your credit card details.
Yeah, very true.
So you don't have the season pass to play this.
Yeah, please insert memory card.
I think this game actually had the problem where if your memory card wasn't big enough, you couldn't unlock everything on it.
Oh wow!
Well,
there you go. That was the original microtransaction.
Yeah, buy a new memory
you had
card.
To buy the special Ridge Racer memory card.
There was nothing micro about that.
No.
Memory card in those days.
Like a piece of toast.
Yeah, with like 8 megabytes on it. Crazy.
But other than those 2 and the backlog tile, which I was still playing right up until we hit record.
Nice one.
That's what I've been playing.
Nice. Oh, I just want to quickly ask before we jump from you, what is it you're playing all these games on? What's it called?
It's called an R36S, which they have their own website and they sell them. I think they're about £50.
Okay, that's cool.
Battery life on them is really good. As long as you stick to like low fidelity titles, you can get at least a day battery.
Oh, cool. So you're not just emulating it on your phone then, you've got an actual...
Oh, it did not show you, really?
Device. I think you did. I remember you you're showing it on the screen.
Pictures in the Discord, isn't there?
Yeah, so I do remember now. When you started saying you're emulating, I just assumed you were doing it on your phone.
I did try on my phone, but I just can't do touch screen controls on old software.
Drives me mad, doesn't it?
I think for something like Pokemon, it would be fine. But for anything that requires different types of inputs, and like reactive inputs, I think it doesn't work.
I really need the feel of the buttons to be able to move from button to button.
I know what you mean.
I need because I'm too busy focused on what's actually happening on screen to look for where I need to press.
And I hate overlay buttons on the screen, so I don't want my thumb taking up screen real estate.
I want to watch it all.
Exactly. Especially for a racing game, you can't do that on that.
Oh god, yeah,
definitely.
Covering up the turn you're going to go around.
All right then, Ben. I believe you've been playing loads.
No, not a massive amount. I mean, lots of time in them, but not.
Nice.
So, start off with Revenge of the Savage Planet. Finally got to play it. I think I've mentioned it a few times.
This is the new one.
Yes. I played the first one, really enjoyed it. Shout out to Drummer. I've been playing it with him. I don't even know if he listens, but, you know, I'll tell him
anyway.
It's great. All I have to say is it's great. It's as stupid and gooey and ridiculous as the first one.
Good.
There's really stupid undertones to literally everything. I mean, everything. Every time you go into your little hab, there's an advert playing because the world's gone to adverts. There's an advert playing of really random things. One of them was quite easily a jibe at social medias. It was Shamalama Ding Dong's Academy, and it's this guy in a golden tracksuit just going ding dong and trying to sell you this position in this academy. And then when it shows like the students to this academy, they're all wearing like a beach ball style outfit and it's like top of the line equipment.
It sounds strange.
It's ridiculous. Oh man, it is.
It reminds me a bit of that High on Life.
Oh, with the guns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which is a similar sort of humour.
It's on a par with that stupidity.
Yeah.
There's the creatures that aren't very hostile towards you. So you have like a little drone that follows you around, giving you advice and telling you stuff and commenting on things that you're doing all the time. She has a female voice, and basically when you kick one of the not aggressive type monsters and they splat against something, she always has a "ooh, so gooey" comment or something really funny to say.
Nice. And it hasn't got repetitive yet, because sometimes those sort of things do. It
seems to have a lot of dialogue, to be fair. There seems to be a lot of things coming out.
That's what you need for that sort of thing.
Any follower in a game, really.
Yeah,
it's something that made me chuckle about it. It doesn't really ruin it for anyone. It's the first joke in the whole game, really. You get to the planet that you land on. You've crashed, and you have to try and get to the hab that's been set up for you, because you set off 100 years ago. So this hub has been set off for you. You're there. You've arrived. Everything's great. You're working for the company to start colonizing this planet. You're going to initially set everything up, and people are coming out afterwards. As soon as you arrive in your habitation, you're fired. So they're not sending anyone out. Yeah. It's not happening. That's it. We're not colonizing anymore. So you're there on your own. And then the next thing she says is, we were going to ask you to post everything back to us, but it was too expensive. So lucky you get to keep it all.
It's just like work.
It's great.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, because I never played the first one, so I've not really seen much about the second one. I've heard some people saying it's like the first one, but not as good. But your first-hand experience sounds like you're enjoying it. So,
well, I was a bit worried that the sense of humor wouldn't stand up again, because it was funny in the first one to me, and I thought, oh well, is it just going to be same jokes, different way kind of thing?
How does the new perspective work? Because this one's third person. Whereas the first
I thought it might get in my way a little bit, because I prefer first person in most things that I do.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's not so bad, and it adds comedy value because the character moves differently, like does stupid leg kicks to get through deep water, and so it kind of adds fun. Yeah, really. Yeah, cool.
It lets you see the animations as well.
Awesome. But also outfits are a big thing in it.
Okay. Yeah.
As you capture creatures, you can get a new sort of colour that you can have your outfit in, because you dissect them, take them apart, and then you can make a suit orange.
Joe's interested now.
Customization.
It is very fun.
Yeah. Nice.
So that was that. I've only been playing that multiplayer with my friends on, so when we get there.
Okay.
So that might go on for a while. The next one I wanted to talk about was RoadCraft. It's out.
I've been so happy to hear about this. I've seen your crane skills.
Oh, my crane skills are great.
So you've really been looking forward to this one, haven't you?
It was on the truck, wasn't it? God damn
it. For 3 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I missed. It's very good. There's a few hang-ups that I think most of the player base has had. It looks great, and we're down to details like you can swivel the camera around and see the heat radiating from the radiator at the front of the truck.
That's cool.
You can see, like, when it starts up, it spits out condensation before, like, little bits drips out the end of the exhaust. Silly things like that.
That's mental.
It's great detail. It looks good as well.
That's like when the horse's balls shriveled in Red Dead.
The issues I have with it, so it plays really well, everything's working, but there's no fuel consumption, which was a big thing in SnowRunner.
I was going to say, this was a complaint you had about the last one you played, weren't it?
Yeah.
Expeditions.
Yeah, it's a big part of it because of it being a simulator style game. You have to work out the logistics to get somewhere. You have to park a fuel truck. You have to be able to know you can get there and back, kind of thing. There's also no damage, which is another big clincher.
This sounds to me like my lobster is too juicy and this steak is too delicious.
I understand why they'd remove those things, because I can imagine people probably complain about them. It's like weapon degradation.
Yeah, they should have it as like a difficulty
have it as an option. Yeah.
So Saber Interactive have come out and said they've listened to the community and they are going to add a hard mode with it on.
Okay. Yeah, that's all it needs.
That's a fantastic idea, to be fair. Yeah. If you want it, you've got it.
Yeah, you don't can do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it was a thing in the other one. You had to take parts out to trucks to repair them before you could get them. You'd find them in the game and you would repair them and drive them home, kind of thing. It was a thing. But that not having it means you're never going to find a broken truck. Means you're never going to, so it does take quite a bit away if you think about it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. How does the game actually play? Sorry, just like, I'm trying to imagine it. I always thought it was more of like an isometric sort of like crafting game where you're building roads, like a City Skylines. But the way you're describing it now, it sounds more like it's like the Expeditions or SnowRunners.
It's that. It's exactly that.
Like third
person or first person, because you can sit in the cab.
Yeah.
Driving game. You're always in a truck. You never get out of it.
Yeah.
You jump from truck to truck if you need to using the map.
Just with it having that different name of RoadCraft, I was imagining something different.
The idea is it's set in a disaster area. So the first mission is sort of training mission before one of the big disasters. And you need to start building a flood dam type of thing, like a flood protection on the dock. Then after the incident, you go back there and there's trees down, there's all sorts happened already. Boats are on the road, there's stuff happened. And you then need to start getting routes for supplies in. And you have to start, because you don't actually run all the supplies, you literally just go into the map and start setting up the supplies for the AI to do.
Yeah.
And then
maybe that's what I've seen.
And then that's a whole new thing. They've never had that in one of them. But the AI drivers are so dumb. It's unbelievable. We were trying to load one of the concrete slabs onto the back of a truck that I definitely didn't roll and definitely didn't lose, okay? And it wasn't that one that you saw me load at all. And when we were picking them back up and putting them back on my truck, it was in one of their routes, and the van just hits you and sits on his horn. That's all he does. Doesn't try and reverse up
in the middle of the road.
Doesn't try and reverse up. Doesn't just disappear and tell you route failed. No, it's about 5 minutes of.
This sounds like realism.
Yes.
Yeah, he's very angry man.
He was in shock.
Yeah.
He didn't think he'd see another vehicle.
So
there's no roads.
They've added great things like dumper trucks for hauling sand about, and then you fill up potholes, as it were. I say potholes.
But that's very satisfying when you line that up and it all just goes in the hole.
And then you bring out the tarmacking machine to tarmac over the top of it and a steamroller to level it back. It's great. Honestly, it's great.
So this one's more about crafting then, I imagine, whereas the other ones are about trucking and taking loads.
Recovery and stuff.
Not as much haulage in this, definitely.
Yeah.
Not as much haulage so far.
Is it called RoadCraft a mud runner game, or is it just called RoadCraft?
It's RoadCraft. It's just inline.
Oh, okay.
Not just a mud runner game.
I feel like all these games with their sort of like singular focus, I feel like they're making all these little ones and then they need to put them together and make one big one that has all these elements.
Like the Avengers of
yes, exactly.
So like you can trucking.
So you've got all the haulage sort of like mechanics, and then you've got the road crafting mechanics, and then you've got some of the haulage up the snowy cliffs,
and you got the mountain climbing cars and stuff.
So I feel like it'd be good if you had it all in one.
I'm going to bring up my double standard again. So as we all know, I pre-ordered it after a big long speech about not pre-ordering. And the reason I pre-ordered it was because I've got a 30-ton tracked vehicle that can carry 20 ton of sand. And I'm not kidding you, the rest of them can hold about 8 ton. So when I rock up, I can really fill that hole.
Oh, here he comes. Pre-order Ben with all the sand.
But sometimes that annoys me. Like, I remember I can't remember if it was Last of Us 1 or 2, but you got a gun earlier than you otherwise would have. Yeah, I kind of don't want to use it because
I know what you mean.
Does it ruin the game? Yeah, you've pre-ordered it and you've almost got you were complaining before about it being too easy with the no damage or fuel, but now it's even easier because you've got a massive truck.
Well, I wasn't complaining about it being too easy because of that, because one of the things they have done is they've taken away winches on most of the trucks. Now, all the trucks had winches in SnowRunner, all of them. And in this, none of them have it. Only the scout vehicles have winches. And scout vehicles aren't heavy enough to pull a 30-ton tracked vehicle back out of a chasm once it's stuck. So I can't even bring another truck out to pull it out.
Yeah.
So that is very frustrating. We've then got to bring cranes out and lifting equipment and different things like that. And that, I mean,
that keeps it different. Yeah.
The basically Grand Canyon that me and Tafcat filled up. Shout out to the guys I'm playing it with as well, because it's 4-player online.
Nice.
Finally, a 4-player multiplayer game.
Damon Tafcat and Drummer, we're all playing it. and it's going good, and we're having a laugh with it because mostly I can't do most of it.
When you say you filled the Grand Canyon, was that with vehicles you'd fallen in with?
It was absolutely gigantic, this sort of washed away road. And it took about 10 of the 20-ton sand to fill.
Yeah, nice.
And then, so I mean, you've got to drive it to refill it as well. Don't forget. So we had to drive there, drive back, drive there, drive back.
Sounds
and
like
then when we leveled it out, then when we leveled it out, I then had to drive the slowest vehicle in the world, which is the Tarmacer. Jesus, it's bad.
I'm glad you're having fun.
But you can't put, as well, there's like nice little things like you put a steamroller on the back of a lorry to carry it out there, and the lorry just doesn't perform the same. It's just so heavy. It just will not accelerate hard. It will not do anything.
It's cool details.
It is. It's very good. So I'm very happy with it so far anyway.
Good. So is there anything else you've been playing? Or
Yeah, I've been also playing Beyond Horizon. It's a Steam game about a road.
A not-crafted road.
All you're doing is driving to the horizon.
Yes, I actually think I know what it is. Isn't it? So it's not like one of your type of games, is it?
It's like a walking simulator.
It's a procedurally generated road that there are random stops that spawn in, and as you're driving,
quite new, isn't it?
You have to think. Yeah, it's still in early access.
Yeah, I know it.
There are, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 different types of vehicles in it so far. I couldn't tell you because I haven't seen them all yet.
It's just side-scrolling, isn't it? It's from left to right.
No.
Okay, it's a different game completely.
It's third person, it's first person technically, because you run around as a person in it.
Fair.
So when you get to a stop, you can get out of your car. It's a driving sim of sorts. You are basically trying to rebuild your car. You're trying to find parts that fit your car, and you can.
Oh my god! Is it like a cooler version of Jalopy?
It is fun. I don't know why it's so fun. There's not a lot to do in it, really.
Sounds a bit like Pacific Drive, to be honest. But
you have to
without the horror element.
You have to eat and drink in it. You
lost me.
You can also pee in it, which is very entertaining. Because I have taken an engine out that's overheating and peed on it before now.
Why not?
Hey, if it works, it works.
You're going to cool it. I'm going to cool it. All right. You have to put water, oil, and petrol in your car. You have to engines. It's a bit like Meccano. You click the engines in and out, so you can just swap out for another engine. It's good fun. I don't know why it's good fun, but it just is.
So you're just driving down like a straight road, but you find car parts. You're just trying to survive in your car.
Yeah, basically. It does have sweeping bends. You can put the physics in it are quite cool. You can put stuff inside a box, and once you've put the box down, the stuff doesn't move. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so you don't fall. It doesn't fall out until you pick it up next time. So that also helps you with silly things like attaching a trampoline to the back of your car because you found it in a bin.
And as we know, everything is yours in a game.
Obviously. But that is also multiplayer, so one of you guys should play it because it'd be really funny. It's good so far. I'm enjoying it. And the other thing was Doom. I've been playing Doom.
The new one.
The new Doom.
The Dark Ages.
I've done 4 chapters.
Okay.
Wow.
And I've had a go at the big sort of mech suit that you
Pacific
have a go
Rim
of.
moment.
Yes. And all I'm saying is I was big and I was punching. I won't talk too much about it. I am really enjoying it, to be fair.
Fun.
Good. I really want to play it, but I've heard nothing but bad things about the mech, the dragon, the soundtrack, and how slow it is. So it's really making me not want to play it now, but I do still want to play it.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I've never played one since 2, as you all know.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going in fresh.
Yes.
And I'm enjoying it. I can see the speed issue now that you say it. In the mech, obviously, it has to be slower to make you feel bigger.
Yeah.
I did feel a little guilty crashing through a bridge with all my guys on it. Because you have to run at the big monsters you're going to punch. I go charging through this bridge and I can see them all dying. I like little touches, like when you get into a room with these guys in that are clearly squads. They're all like, "It's the Slayer. Shh, just don't look at him."
That's cool.
They did that in Doom Eternal as well.
Yeah.
When you go on the satellite cannon station, it's like, oh my God, it's him.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think they've done a really cool thing with the settings because you can turn the game speed up.
Okay,
So
yeah.
a lot of people I've heard say like put it on 1.2 times speed and it feels a lot better. Just the game is just faster.
I'm looking forward to playing it, but I preferred Eternal over 2016. I've heard this is a bit more like 2016. But it's cool that they're all different games.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm probably saying it's slow compared to the other Dooms. It's probably not a slow game.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, no, definitely. 100%. Yeah, but when you played a Doom, you sort of. I think a lot of people are going into it expecting it to play one way, and they're like, actually, this is quite different to what I was expecting.
Because it looks a lot more like a bullet hell type. Dodging affair as well.
Definitely
from the trailers.
It's definitely hectic.
Yeah, I was going to say. So, quick thoughts, then, Ben.
So far, really enjoying it. I have been streaming it a bit on the Steam Deck more than the console because that's when I'm getting a chance to do it. So it might be losing a little bit to me so far, if you see what I mean. But I will put it on the console more soon.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm all right with it so far. I'm quite enjoying it.
I'm definitely going to get round to it. Definitely.
100% same.
Shotguns are fun.
It's number 2 in my list after Cyberpunk.
All right, I suppose I'll go then, which mine's going to be really short because I've just been away, so I've not really had much
time. Yeah, makes sense.
So since last time, I made the decision to stop playing Dragon Age.
Oh my God, I thought you were going to say games.
I quit. I am done. No, every time I wasn't playing it, I didn't want to play it. And every time I forced myself to play it, I was having an okay time, but I was always like, there's so many other games at the moment that I really want to play.
It's not enough.
It's really long.
Yeah, and it was quite long. And then I was looking at, like, before I went on holiday, I had quite a lot of time to play games.
Yeah.
And like, not loads, but I had like a good, like, say 10 hours roughly to play. And I was like, I don't want to spend that 10 hours on Dragon Age. And since coming back, I've had quite a lot of time, just had a free weekend. And again, I didn't really want to spend it playing Dragon Age. So I've been playing different stuff, but I'm not going to talk about that now. You'll find out why later. Other than that, played more Prince of Persia on holiday, but not much more to say on that. It's just, again, continuing to be really good. I think I probably won't talk about that now till I've finished it.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to finish it on holiday, but it's quite a big game, so I've not.
Bigger than you expected then. How many hours do you think you're playing?
It's hard to tell because it's over such a long period of time.
It's like
playing a bit here,
chunks.
playing a bit there, yeah. Probably like 12, 15 hours, something like that. And I've still...
That's quite big for a side-scroller.
Yeah, it still seems like I've got more stuff to unlock as well, like abilities. There's definitely at least one more main ability because there's a section in the pause menu that tells you.
I see.
But then on top of that, there is also things like you've got a weapon called like a chakram, I think it's called. You've got a bow and arrow on one button. If you hold it, you get this like spinning wheel you throw out and retracts back to you.
Right.
And it's got
that's your chakram.
That's your chakram.
Yeah.
Chakram's Ding Dong Academy.
No, Ben.
Oh, damn.
But I've just unlocked the ability to teleport to the chakram.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, that's
which
pretty
is really,
cool.
really cool. But that wasn't in like the list of abilities because it's like an extra ability on top of one of my abilities.
Right.
So
okay.
there's a lot
sub ability.
Yeah.
like sub abilities. So.
Sounds like it's got a lot more combat in it than you would think.
Oh yeah, I just beat this boss recently where he was really fast and really hard to hit. But you have an ability where you can like drop like a clone of yourself, kind of like a decoy, but enemies don't like go to it.
Yeah.
But the idea is you can essentially like teleport back to that point. So it's used a lot in like puzzles or like traversal. But for this boss, I was having to like drop that little decoy, run around and then teleport back to it. But it worked like I was teleporting all over the place. And now I've got the chakram I can teleport to. It's like an extra teleport.
You've basically become
Tracer.
Tracer.
Combat. Yeah. It's honestly the combat, the traversal, all that is like top notch.
Cool.
It really is. So really enjoying that. Other than that, the only game adjacent thing I've been doing is watching Devil May Cry.
Is it good?
Oh,
It came
nice.
up on the suggested on Netflix the other day.
It's enjoyable. I don't know enough about the Devil May Cry lore. From what I've read online and from what I've seen, I think I've got 2 episodes left. It kind of is nothing like Devil May Cry lore. He's got Dante in it, and he's Dante by name, and he looks like Dante, but he's more like Deadpool than he is.
How much
Dante.
of it is like pizza delivery?
None.
None. Oh,
He eats a pizza in the credits.
okay.
He is a little bit. He's more like Deadpool than he is Dante, but he looks like Dante. It's cool.
I mean, they're quite similar character-wise. Anyway,
They are quite similar, but all the other stuff with the demons and stuff, I don't know the lore well enough, but I don't think it's anything to do with Devil May Cry. It
does seem a bit
kind
odd
of
that they
made it
would
up.
Do that.
Yeah,
I don't know why people pick out franchises and go, just ignore all the lore.
yeah.
Well, this isn't the first one. It's not the first Devil May Cry anime.
No, but this is the first in. It's like a reboot anime sort of thing.
No, I mean they have done a canon accurate one before.
Yeah, but this is just separate. It's still good though. It's still an entertaining anime, and the soundtrack slaps. So
Nice.
you've got Limp Bizkit for the opening credits. You've got a Papa Roach sequence.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was meaning to have another go at it, but it just didn't grab me in the first episode or so.
No, the first say 2 or 3. After that, if it's not grabbed you. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I've got 2 left. I'm enjoying it. It's not as good as Demon Slayer, which I finished on holiday.
Is it as good as Castlevania?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, definitely not. It's just a good watch, but it's not like a great watch.
Okay. Yeah. A 7 out of 10.
So,
7 out of 10 anime.
to be honest, yeah, a 7 out of 10. Which, to be honest, most of the anime I watch is usually 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So it is noticeable
Okay.
as being a step down, but I'm still having fun. So
Oh, cool.
Do we need an anime section added into this show?
I'm going to say no.
Because we seem to be doing it.
We do.
Well, I try to keep it to the game adjacent ones.
Discord, let us know if we should.
yeah, maybe. But yeah, that's been me. So
Nice
shall
one.
we move on to the news?
But Badoo, it's the news.
So we've got quite a few bits this time because we're a week late.
We are. Apologies as well for the
apologies.
week late.
Yeah. It's my fault and Jake's fault.
So it's
Both
2
of
weeks of news.
Yes.
Really?
Well, a week and a half of news. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So we should probably start with the, and this is probably 3 or 4 weeks old now, but GTA 6 trailer 2.
I must miss
That's a
that.
trailer too.
I was in that.
I've actually not watched this.
Because
Have you not actually watched it?
No.
so I was listening back to our podcast when I was on holiday, and I think I literally said, I don't see a trailer coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
And this was after the trailer. So the episode released after the trailer.
Yeah, when I was listening back, I was cringing a little bit, not gonna lie.
So I was completely wrong.
But it came out of the blue.
It did.
Literally.
It did.
I can't remember who put it in the Discord. It might have been Damon.
I think it was.
Someone put it in the Discord anyway. I was like, wait, what? Sudden.
Yeah. Continues to look really good. Just like the first one. Graphically, they're saying this is like all in engine. It's like half cutscenes, half like,
PlayStation 5 standard as well.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, so it's running on a base PS5.
It's very impressive. I don't want to
Very
spend too
impressive.
long on it because I feel like the news is dead now because
Yes.
it's so old.
It'll
But
be another week old when this comes
I
out.
know, but it did look very impressive.
It did. It's still another year to wait though.
Yeah, literally a year tomorrow on the day of recording.
Yes.
Less than a year by the time this comes out.
So quickly move on. Xbox have announced a couple of games coming to PlayStation, and I think the first one's very interesting. It's Gears of War.
Yes.
Also, Hellblade 2 is also coming to
Yeah,
PlayStation.
Well, not
also
the first one.
Old news. The first one was already on PlayStation.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
I
that
thought that
was
was an
before
exclusive.
it was before they acquired them.
Yeah.
So
It
the
was.
Gears of War news again is quite old, but
It is, but
it's interesting.
interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
I find it interesting as well that it's a remaster of the first one. So it's a remaster of the remake of the first one at this point. So
Yes.
very PlayStation. That's
However-
probably why it's coming
Yes.
out on PlayStation.
They have said that anyone who has the remake gets this version for free.
That's cool, at least.
So, it's something. It's not a £10 upgrade. But it's a Game Pass.
Is it crossplay? Online?
I think they said it is. Yes, I think they said it is.
That is pretty cool. I'm thinking that maybe they wanted an excuse to put it on PlayStation, and they were like, well, let's
remaster it again. Why not?
Yeah.
I just wish it was the trilogy.
Same.
But
I do too. There has been rumours for a long time that Gears 2 is getting a remake.
Well, I heard rumours of the Marcus Phoenix collection. Not that they had the Master Chief collection.
Same.
It would make a lot of sense, but...
It would, but I mean, the door's well and truly been kicked open.
Yes.
So...
With a heavy boot.
Yeah.
Yes, roadie running through one by one.
I wish with the Gears games, they remade them all, but with all the mechanics from the later ones, at least from 3, because when you play back through them, you realise there's a lot you can't do in the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how clunky it is.
Yeah. Like you can't meat shield. That came in 2, I think.
Same with sticking grenades and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't do that in 1.
And when you climb over cover and kick them, I think that was 3.
Yes.
So there's all little things that I wish they would go back and put in.
Yeah.
But,
it's easy to forget, to be fair.
Yeah.
But cool. I don't know if I'll get it.
No,
but
I'll get it on Game Pass.
They're all on Game Pass anyway.
But I won't pay for it. But then there's Hellblade 2, which I think is really interesting because when Hellblade 2 was first shown, that was the game that everyone was like, Xbox is so much more powerful than PlayStation. Look how nice this game is. Now it's coming to PlayStation and it's the enhanced edition, which is 60 frames and up-res for PlayStation 5 Pro. So that's actually the best version.
Yeah, it certainly is a weird one. I don't know how well that's going to sell.
Me neither. I hope it sells well.
If anybody's listening to your review of it,
I was going to say, I hope it sells well so the team can continue to make games.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't recommend anyone buy
it. So moving on to something else, something from Randy Pitchford.
My favorite.
Oh my god, he's such a weird guy. But recently, he's come out. Somebody asked him on Twitter, basically, if Borderlands 4 is going to be $80. I don't think they asked him directly.
They just said,
like,
please don't
make $80. Yeah. And he's come back, and the first part of his statement, he basically said, "It's not up to me."
Yeah, he said, not my call.
Yeah, so he should have just left it there.
Yeah,
but he didn't. He carried on, and to sum it up, he basically said, "If you're a true fan, you'll make it work."
Yeah, he said he did it when he was younger. He bought some game. I can't remember what game he said.
I don't know,
for $80, and he scrimped and saved and did all.
Who needs food?
Yeah. I'm a true fan of most sports cars and bikes, but I can't make them work.
No.
So how
if he just said, "Look, it's not my call," he said, "But the game is shaping up to be really good. If it does, if the powers that be say it's going to be $80, then I think the product is worth $80." If he just said that, people would have been like, "Okay, fair enough. I don't want it to be $80, but."
Instead, he told people to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
To the god.
So now people will be sacrificing Borderlands 4 and buying something else.
Most likely.
Yeah, he's just a really slimy dude.
Yeah. I'll go and buy 20 creepy. Starbucks coffees.
He looks weird.
It's just
he acts weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
There's enough going on in the current climate with money that you just don't say that to people.
He's like a PR disaster, and by the sounds of it, he's actually good at running his team.
Yeah.
He's a PR disaster. Like he needs to just stop opening his mouth.
Maybe he just saw the Nintendo statement and thought, "That's not actually such a bad thing to say." I mean, he was wrong.
Very true. He
was wrong on all fronts.
Let's make it worse.
I can see the logic.
Yeah.
Moving on to other controversies, though. Bungie. I don't know if anybody's heard about the
thieves.
Basically, they've stolen a load of art assets.
Yeah.
Do you want to take this away, Brad? You'll probably know a bit more than me.
It's a bit of a
copy and paste issue.
It's a copy paste. I was going to say it's a complicated one, but it's not really. So essentially, there's an artist, and unfortunately, I can't remember the name. I do apologize. But this artist works in a similar art style as what Marathon is,
Yeah.
They made a lot of sort of like decal work, and they put it online. And what
this
it
was
seems
years
like,
ago,
and years ago, what it seems like's happened is an ex-Bungie employee. They have said ex-employee.
Mhm.
Whether they mean they're ex-employee now, like they've been fired, or ex as in,
I think they probably got laid off
yeah,
during all the layoffs.
we don't know. Yeah, but we don't know. So an ex-employee used this work and directly put it in the game.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know exactly how. Bungie have said they're going to do a thorough investigation into how this has happened. It could be an accident. It could be someone's used it to make the boards, the art boards.
They could have been like placeholder items that never got replaced.
Exactly. So it could be that. It could be innocent enough, but it could also be malicious. It could be someone who was being lazy, copied and pasted. It could be anything. So Bungie are going to look into it.
They have been accused of this. Well, more than accused. It's been
proven 4 times.
4 times that they have stolen artwork of people.
In other games?
In other Bungie games, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So then on that side of it, it doesn't look good for Bungie because, again, whether it's malicious or not, clearly their process of identifying this sort of thing is subpar because
100%.
Things keep slipping through.
Yeah. So at this point, it's kind of like, well, clearly you're just doing it on purpose, almost.
Now, I think the reason why it's a little bit more complicated is because a lot of people are jumping on this and sort of suggesting that the whole marathon aesthetic is stolen. Yeah, that's not true. But it's a shame that the one thing Marathon had going for it, which was its art style,
stolen.
has been partially stolen, and then that has obviously led to people looking at the whole art style negatively. So the one thing that was positive is now being viewed negatively. Because
might have just brought it down.
I mean, it was already in a tough spot anyway. A lot of people weren't liking just another extraction shooter. They didn't want that.
No. They need to delay it.
Gameplay wise, didn't look that interesting compared to anything else. It wasn't doing anything new. It needs to be delayed, or I think it might even get shelved. I mean, people from Bungie are apparently speaking out and saying like the morale is like down the toilet. Basically,
it would be. Yeah,
I
know.
Well, I don't know if you saw I didn't fully see the interview, but the guy that was talking about it had 1,000-yard stare. Like he was. Yeah.
Well, he did a live stream that wasn't supposed to be about that. I think it was supposed to be about something else, and it was apparently, I didn't watch it, apparently it's a very dour live stream of a lot of people in the comments just berating them, and obviously there's people presenting.
I don't know why they still went ahead. The live stream was announced way before the controversy started, and they decided to still go ahead with it, not show any gameplay because it might have been tainted.
Oh, yeah.
So
there's no need to go ahead with it, really, was
there? And the thing is, was this artwork only identified because the trailers were out as well? Like they saw it in the trailers.
I think there was also the alpha.
Oh, and the alpha.
Yeah, I think the artist came out and was basically posted it all online. Like, you've stolen my art. Here's all the proof.
Yeah.
And for a game to like get that far in development to have this happen as well, you have to go back so far to rework all the assets.
Yeah. I mean, they are just like texture sheets. So it
still making them from scratch to make sure they fit around everything.
Yeah, because you can't just like tweak it. Oh, there's a triangle pointing upwards, turn it round.
Yeah,
you can't just do that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I say that, but some of the artwork was just triangles like in a row.
Yeah,
but
you just don't know art.
It's a tough one. I genuinely think that marathon should be delayed at this point now.
I wouldn't be surprised if it just didn't come out at this point.
I think there's too much to risk, or they rework it completely. I think there's enough there.
It comes out. It should either move it to back end of next year or even further.
I reckon there's a lot they can rework, but they need to work it out of being an extraction shooter somehow. Take the art style, the world, the design, take the gameplay.
It needs reworking.
Just completely rework it.
Yeah.
This might be a blessing in disguise. We might end up with a better game.
Hopefully, yeah. And the thing is, then you look at games, because no one wants extraction shooters, but there's that game,
Arc Raiders.
Arc Raiders.
That looks pretty good.
And there's another, I think there's a beta for that at the moment. People are raving about it, saying this is actually really good. We don't want extraction shooters, but this game is actually
does enough
amazing
to make it good, yeah.
Yeah, so it's literally, it would be so embarrassing for Bungie to release alongside this.
I know. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, really.
Should have stuck with Halo.
Well, yeah.
Well, we'll move on to some more positive news. It seems like I don't know if there's been some kind of Warhammer event, but there's been loads of Warhammer news in the realm of gaming. Yeah. So first off, the original Space Marines getting a remaster or a re-release.
An enhanced edition.
Because I don't think you can actually get it these days if you haven't got a PC. I don't think you can get it on console, can you?
Is it not on the Xbox store as a 360 game you can buy?
I don't think
360 store shut down.
Yeah.
No, but you can still buy some 360 games on the e-store.
I remember,
I
think I remember looking into it, and it was one of those games that just didn't come through. Like, there's that Deadpool game, for instance.
Oh, okay.
Unless you get a physical copy,
you're
out of luck.
It's worth playing if anyone, when this remaster.
I never got a chance to play it, so
I did. It's quite different to the new one.
Yeah,
it's worth playing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Space Marine, then Space Marine 2's just got its Horde mode. Is that out now?
June.
It's coming out in June.
In June. I might have to
trailer,
re-download.
I forgot how good this game looks.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
It's so polished.
Yeah, and you can play as a dreadnought, or can you just call down a dreadnought?
It looks like they're like stratagems.
Yeah. I see. Yeah.
That's cool.
Talking of stratagems, by the way, completely off topic, but Helldivers had massive updates.
A big one.
Yeah, it's on Super Earth now.
Yeah. That looks really cool. I want to get back to that.
God, I need to re-download all these games.
Yeah, that was a side tangent.
So what else did they do for Warhammer?
Bolt Gun 2.
Bolt Gun 2 has just been announced with just a quick little trailer.
Mm.
They didn't have any like release dates or anything, did they? Did they say 2026?
I can't remember, but it looked like more Bolt Gun.
Yeah, no, it looked really good. I couldn't really tell the difference between that and the original Bolt Gun.
No.
But it's cool that the second one's coming out.
Yeah.
Cool that they've got like funding to do another one, because it was really good.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we recently played Dark Tide, which is a shame because there's a new class coming out.
Yeah, it would have been quite an interesting class to play as.
Yeah,
it has a dog.
It has a dog.
I probably would have picked that one.
Only if the dog could set on fire.
I was quite happy to be Jab. I would have stuck with Jab. I'm committed. Told you, one type of player. That's what I do.
Nice. So a lot of Warhammer news, all really cool. It's cool that it's coming back into the gaming realm so big.
Yeah.
A really hard push, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
It's Hasbro rubbing their hands together.
Oh, yes. And then lastly for the news, so there's been a lot of little newses, but they've just announced that A24 are going to make an Elden Ring film.
Yeah, so this was, I don't know if this was already announced or just heavily rumoured, but Bandai Namco, I saw tweet the other day, like at least officially, it's got a director whose name escapes me, and it is going to be made by A24. It's a live action, because again, I don't think people knew whether it was going to be a live action. It was just sort of rumoured.
Okay.
Yeah. What do we think?
Florence Pugh.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think
if Miyazaki's involved, it's got to be someone with the feet out.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's all set in a poison swamp.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it, because out of all the things Elden Ring, the weakest part is the story. The weakest part of all of them. I mean, they've always got
to make a manga
lore
out of the story.
Fair. Yeah, they've always got deep lore, but I think it'll just be maybe its own story.
I think they'll set a story in the world.
Yeah.
This could be a fun game. Who's going to be Radahn?
Yeah. Well,
who's going to play
Rock.
it?
Yeah.
I just got Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
It's Radahn.
But with it being an A24 film, they tend to pick more unknown actors. They usually have like one like key name.
Tom Holland as Melania.
Yeah. But it's usually someone like Florence Pugh. She's in a lot of A24 films.
She has.
But I think it, I mean, I think it could be good. I love Elden Ring, so I hope it's good. But A24 are known for making good films.
It's just they are.
They're also known for making small budget films. So I think that's something we need to take away from this. It's not going to be a big budget like Radahn or Elden Beast or anything. It's going to be small.
Work.
Yeah, I think
that could work really well.
Yeah,
because after watching the latest Alien, I've really enjoyed the physical effects coming back.
Yeah,
because it doesn't look bad in a year.
Just strip it back into making a small film, a smaller sort of like scale film. Maybe
I really hope they integrate the what's it called, the gameplay loop aspect of it. Like, I hope that whoever plays the main character gets struck down a few times and gets revived like a grace,
make it like a trap
each time. Yeah,
I don't know, because
and figure out the way through this dungeon.
Trap story.
They kind of did that.
Yeah,
they kind of did that with the Until Dawn film, and that wasn't meant to be very good. So,
that didn't need a film because the game was a film.
Yeah, but the film is a different story to the game. But they kind of tried to treat like respawning as like that's Groundhog Day.
I didn't know they actually did that. Well, that's
so when they die, they start the day again or something.
So they basically made it more like a game.
Well, kind of, yeah.
The film.
Yeah, they've got to survive the night, but they can only die so many times. If they die, they respawn.
Okay.
I've not watched it.
Strange way of doing things.
So I almost don't want that to happen, but I want to at least see the struggle in some of the fights.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to see, because I feel like Dark Souls and Elden Ring are all about that.
I hope the Dung Eater
perseverance
experience.
The Dung Eater.
The Dung Eater.
Yes.
A loathsome Dung Eater.
Maybe it'll just be about him and just he'll be set in the cells.
He'll be defiling people on chairs for an hour.
Oh God. But that's it for the news. That's all I've got. Have you got anything?
No.
For how much news there was, that's gone really fast.
Really? Really has,
Little bits of news,
yes, definitely.
Little bits.
So I think because we're about halfway through the episode, I'm going to do the socials now.
Oh, okay.
Do things a little bit differently. You can find us anywhere, everywhere.
Down the shops, Tesco's, Asda, Morrison's.
Yes, all the socials. X, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the others I can't think of. We're on Discord. We've got a really good Discord going. Join the Discord, have a chat with us there.
We've had a few new people join, so welcome. And thanks for joining.
You guys. Yeah.
100%. If you want to ask us a question or just send us any feedback, you can do that on the Discord or via our email, which is gaminggarnish@gmail.com. I think that's all of it.
I think it is.
So now, Ben, what's coming out in June?
Games coming out. June Awakening.
You know what? I was going to say that.
Great segue.
I was going to say that because I heard it was coming out in June.
That's
definitely did that on purpose.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
After a 3-week delay was what I know about it. Don't know a massive amount about it. It's coming out on PC, 10th of June. It looks cool, but I don't really know what it is.
Is this the same Dune game that was at Summer Games Fest last year?
Yeah. So it's going on and on, or it feels like it's going on and on.
It's a crafting MMO. So it's a massively multiplayer game, but you're crafting stuff and you're building stuff. So Valheim or Rust, Ark, that sort of thing, but more like RPGs.
I was hoping for it to be.
So apparently 3 weeks ago they had a open beta, and after the feedback from it, they delayed for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So shifted to 10th of June.
I think the general feedback from a gameplay point of view has been positive.
Yeah.
Just performance-wise was shaky, but it
must have been a fundamental that they've... But it's good. I like to see people doing that, to be fair, rather than just going, well, it's broken and it's out.
It would probably be a U-type game, Ben.
Yeah, cool. Maybe I'll have a look more into it then. It's just, it's been at the side. I've seen it, and I just keep seeing things about it, but I feel like I've seen things about it now for years.
Yeah.
So I don't look anymore.
I don't know enough about Dune.
Same.
To get involved, but...
What's it coming out on?
PC.
Just PC?
PC only is what I've got.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay, Rematch.
Oh! That might be my
I didn't realise that was coming out this month. Wow.
Yeah.
Football game from the guys that made Sifu.
Again, I've heard
that's interesting.
Good things.
I don't like football, by the way. I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't like it. I don't know a lot about it. I never have. I'm that guy.
I think we're all that guy, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Okay. It's a 5v5 type game. So it's not
five-a-side football.
Yeah, I thought it was 3, but cool.
No, I think it's 5.
I think they must do maybe different 3v3, 5v5. That
it's
kind
because I keep seeing it's Rocket League with people, but that was 3. So
now the interesting part, and one of the reasons why it was actually a conversational point, is compared to other football games, you play one guy and only one guy.
Oh,
now that changes it completely. Yeah,
definitely.
And if it's coming from Sifu guys, maybe you're like a super guy. But the backgrounds look interesting. The actual game itself does look quite good.
Yeah.
I think they had an alpha or beta at some point recently, and people said it was.
Is it just online?
I don't know.
I don't know that actually.
Yeah.
Is it in the same art style as Sifu as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I finally got a game I knew a lot about, and he goes and asks me the one question I don't know. Thanks, Jake.
It just popped into my head because if you're one guy, is the AI the rest of your team?
Must be.
I see.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Ben, that you can answer. Is it coming to Game Pass?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
That's good.
PC, PS5, X and S, 19th of June.
Yeah,
nice one.
I'll definitely pick that up, even if it's just for a few rounds.
Yeah,
definitely on Game Pass.
It's a football game. I'm going to have a go at it if it's on Game Pass. I don't do it, but I will.
Only because like Mario Strikers, I'm in.
I think it looks.
That was the last football game I liked.
It's probably not as wacky as Mario Strikers, but more towards that. I'd say it looks more like FIFA Street.
Yeah.
But wait,
these are all names.
Where you're like doing tricks and you can kick the ball against the wall and it not go off.
And they had big heads.
Yeah.
And you can do all the cool stuff.
I think that was only FIFA Street 2. I don't know why they gave him big heads in 2. But anyway.
3 as well. They went all cartoony and they went super tall.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
God damn.
Broken Arrow.
Not think I've heard of this.
Oh.
Go on.
It's an RTS. It's coming out on the PC. It's just been flagged for really big gun customization. That's what I know about that. Because again, it's not going to be something I go after, unfortunately. But
strange that they'd call it Broken Arrow and it be about gun customization.
Well, that's just the things that's flagged up that I've seen.
Fair enough. Jay, you like an RTS?
I don't know a lot.
I do. It's just on PC though, isn't it?
Just on PC, unfortunately. That's kind of sometimes where my interest sort of feigns a bit because my PC is not really for that.
I'm just having a look now, and it looks like a lot of tanks.
Yeah, it's a war zone.
Tanks. You know what tanks are? They're just low-tech mechs. Mechs with no legs.
Mind's Eye.
Wow, that comes out this month. Wow.
Yes. However, the previews have been pretty shocking.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this the thing about the AI robots taking over?
Yeah, single player, narrative driven, action adventure. You're a former soldier with an implant.
So to the point where people are saying delay it.
Wow. So it's from one of the ex Rockstar guys, isn't it?
Yes. Now I think it when I say the previews have been shocking, it's things like performance and gameplay, but that's stuff that can be worked on. But like the story and the presentation,
the main part of the game.
Well, the story and the presentation's apparently meant to be pretty good.
Okay.
But it needs more.
Just needs more time. I was very surprised because I don't feel like we've heard enough about it. We've had like 2 short trailers,
but then I keep seeing adverts for it. But it's just that same trailer. But I keep seeing adverts.
I keep seeing the same one.
Yeah.
So it's odd that it's coming out so soon.
Yeah. Well, watch this space.
Well, it might not be.
Wasn't it only announced this year as well?
Summer Games Fest last year, I think, or Game Awards. It's definitely last year. But having Game Awards.
PC, PS5, XS, 10th of June.
There's also a thing in it that you can make your create a sort of like sandbox you can make stuff in. I can't remember
like a level maker.
Yeah, but it's all part of this bigger. What did he call it? The Everywhere game.
Oh yeah.
So I think Mind's Eye is meant to have been made in that, and
like a game creator.
Yeah, and you can sort of like access that from within Mind's Eye, but that's only available on PC. So it's I don't know. The marketing's just a bit all over the place for it.
So while we're down that strange route, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Another one?
Another one, yeah.
I feel like one of these comes out every few months.
Surely we've had more than 5 nights at Freddy's.
Secret of the Mimic, apparently.
At least they get weekends.
Do you know what? I actually remember the trailer for this at one of the events. It was probably a PlayStation one. Yeah.
More creepiness, apparently.
People love it,
yeah, they do.
It's not funny.
13th of June, PC, PS5.
Cool.
Still sticking down the weird moment. Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
Yeah.
Big one.
Wait, already?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So contrary to the other,
weird.
to Mind's Eye, this had a preview, and that was very positive.
Yes.
This is the one with the lightning guitar in it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It looks so fun.
People, like all the people who are like flown out to play it, played 30 hours of it.
Yeah, they were.
Over 5 days.
That's like a whole game.
Yeah.
I know. I wouldn't want to play it again.
Yeah.
When it came out.
Me neither.
That whole 30 hours again.
Yeah.
I was just walking down the beach.
But apparently it's more of the same, but they've given you a lot more options in combat and stuff, which makes a lot of people like myself happy, but then people who really liked Death Stranding maybe a bit less happy because they liked that there was no combat.
Just let me walk, bro.
Yeah. But it looks like more Death Stranding, but just like more in every way.
I think it just needed that more combat though, because some people might have really liked it, but I think generally,
you can always choose not to use the combat.
It's on my backlog. I really want to play it, but just never. I don't think
I'll finish the first one.
Oh yeah, you've got about half through, didn't you?
Yeah. But maybe I'll watch the cutscenes.
There's a lot of exposition.
It just got to the point where I was doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Well, 2's coming out soon, so
PS5, 26th of June.
Nice one. End of the month then. Nice.
Also, it's not coming to Xbox.
No,
not yet.
Maybe in 4 years.
Yeah, like the first one.
Yeah.
Tron Catalyst, top-down isometric action adventure. Yeah, it's Tron.
I think I saw some trailers for this. Yeah,
was it like a twin stick shooter type thing?
I couldn't get how they were controlling it. If I'm honest, from what I could see, it looked very like the arcadey games from the early 90s that you just like bullet held, kept shooting.
Oh, okay.
But things coming at you.
It will be a twin stick then, I imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be quite cool.
Again, I only went off the one trailer I saw, sorry. So it was I didn't even know it was coming, to be quite honest, but I thought I'd mention it. It looks sort of fun, is what I wrote.
Cool.
PC, PS5, XS, Switch, 17th of June.
You can get in the bike too. I'm just having a look at some pictures.
Of course. If you could.
You sort of morph the bike in. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
That was the bit that made me go, ooh.
Imagine a Tron game with no bike.
Yeah.
It looks like coming to Game Pass.
No idea. I literally saw it 5 minutes before we came on here.
I suppose if it didn't say Game Pass in the trailer, then it won't
probably
be.
not.
It does look really pretty.
Cool.
Actually,
it look good.
All the neons. Cool. Nice one.
Headache inducing, one might say.
Yeah.
The Switch 2.
In general, yes.
In general, not a game.
To be fair,
say it.
You would have had to have gone Mario Kart World, whatever else.
That is a good point. I didn't even twig.
Wow.
And it won't be coming with a free game.
Wow.
No.
And you'll have to pay for the tech demo.
Did you pre-order it, Joe?
No.
I
didn't think
it looks like none of us are getting one straight away.
No. Maybe by
Gaming
Christmas.
Podcast.
Yeah, I think I'll probably try and get one at Christmas. Anywhere I did look for pre-orders were all sold out anyway.
Fair.
They did sell out pretty quickly. I might tentatively have a look at Christmas, I think. We'll see.
I'm still playing stuff on my Switch One. So
we'll see how it goes.
No reason to
put it in a drawer.
Abandon that backlog yet.
So when does that come out then?
Well, now, you're going to laugh at me when I say this. So, to actually know when the console comes out, what I'm assuming is it's coming out with Mario Kart at the same time.
Indeed.
Which is the 5th of June.
Yes.
Is that right?
But I didn't know. I know this might sound silly. I didn't know if there was anything before it, like a pre-order thing, or whether the tech demo was coming out a week before or something. I just didn't know any of the facts for that one. I'm apologising.
I think your logic makes sense.
You're right. It's June 5th.
Yeah.
And then I just shoved Mario Kart World at the end. Open world 24-player Mario Kart. Yay!
I'll be interested to see
Switch
the
2.
Justification for all the 95 out of 100 scores that it gets.
Yes.
I'm just interested to see how the Switch 2 lands in general.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all the subscriptions I've got all have the same thumbnail saying the Switch does this, the Switch 2 does this.
Yeah.
Wow, who knew it was this good? And then 10 minutes later on another channel, like,
it's broken.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
I've got drift already.
I'm drifting. Where's the mouse drifting?
Yeah.
It comes out a day before Summer Games Fest too.
Really?
So
wait, there's Summer Games Fest too?
I want more game reels.
So, speaking of Summer Games Fest, my last one is The Alters. Now, you might remember it from last year, and I was really looking forward to it. Christ, it feels like a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's actually coming out on the 13th of June. It was a mining game where you built clones or pulled clones from an alternate reality, something like that. Yeah. And they all had different personalities, and it's kind of like simulating a hab of some kind, and looked a bit like...
Yeah, I do remember this.
Looked a bit like Fallout shelters from the side you have.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to this one, because
it did look interesting.
I think it looked like a good idea.
100%.
PC, PS5, X and S. I think it is coming to Game Pass. That was one of the points,
so
wasn't
too.
it?
Yeah.
And when's that coming out? Sorry.
13th of June.
Cool. Oh, you did say. Awesome.
That's me.
Awesome. Another busy month.
The notebook is going away.
I swear, every month I go, it can't be another busy month, and then you prove me wrong. Every month.
July is a dead month.
July.
So many releases.
Maybe.
Nothing's coming out in July. We'll see. We will see.
Yeah. All right. With that, then, shall we move on to the Buried by Backlog?
We should.
This has been a hench episode.
It has.
Loads of
lots going on.
So people might be a bit confused listening to this, that we're doing another Buried by Backlog section after the last one.
Yeah.
But as we alluded to earlier, we are a week behind because of holidays. But
also a week ahead.
So we're bringing everything a week ahead so that we can do Summer Games Fest for the next episode and try and keep that information a bit more relevant.
Yeah.
But this is also changing the way we do the community backlog, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think I was going to mention that at the end, but mention it now, Matt, as well.
It was tied in, you could see it.
So we're wanting to do the community backlog a bit more often. So we're thinking, instead of doing it every 5 Buried by Backlogs, instead of going through us all, we're going to go through 2 of us, then do a community one, and another 2 of us community. So it'll be me, Brad, community backlog, Ben, Joe, community backlog.
And so on.
Back to you.
Yeah. So with that, this month is a community Buried by Backlog section.
It is.
And who put this one in?
It was DK.
Tough cock.
It was.
He's got so many nicknames that
DK. Thank you for that. And he picked Mario 3.
Well, Super Mario
Bros. 3.
Yes, the original. Yes.
The original Super Mario Bros. 3
on the SNES.
So, how did we all find it?
I will say, first thing, this was not the game that I thought it was.
Same.
Every time someone's mentioned Mario Bros. 3, I've had Super Mario World in my head.
Joey,
so when I downloaded it, I was like, wait, why does it look like this?
Yeah.
This isn't the game I remember, because I hadn't ever played Super Mario Bros. 3.
I did it on the
exactly the same.
I did it on the Switch emulator, and there was another thing with the same picture that wasn't the same game.
It's got special levels.
Yeah, they're the special levels.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw that.
It starts off with like a black ship level, doesn't it?
Yes, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
So
it's like DLC, basically.
Fair, yeah. So now I found it in the end. How did everyone emulate it? Or play it?
So I did it on the Switch online service.
Yeah, so did I.
It was already loaded onto my machine that I've got, my little emulation station.
And Ben?
I emulated it on my phone, but then got sick of that, so I pulled my actual NES out of the loft.
Nice.
That is fantastic. Nice.
Blew the dust out of the cartridge.
There's more of a story. We'll come to it.
Okay. So, yeah, top level thoughts then, Joe?
I think Dark Souls games are too easy.
Fair, Ben.
I've been playing this since I think it's 1993, and I still have not completed it.
Still, even with the backlog game.
That's my whole life when I was born.
Jake?
I'm jumping off Joe there. I actually think this is weirdly, it's almost Dark Souls. It's almost got the same mechanic in it.
Yeah.
Good though. It's good to look back at a game like this and see how it's evolved.
Except if you die in Dark Souls and you go back to the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Well, yes. At least the world.
Well, not if you die enough times.
You go back to the start of the game.
Yeah.
Do you?
If you lose all your lives, you start the game again.
No, you start your world, don't you? I lost all my lives at one point and I went
You go back to the beginning of the world.
Yeah.
Until it's turned off.
You see, that only happened to me in World 1, so I thought you could just watch the start of the game.
Yes.
No. Start the world.
I am very thankful for the quality of life features from the Switch emulator, such as
100%.
rewind what you just did.
Yeah.
Or save states.
Well,
safe scumming and basically cheating.
Save state, I didn't realise till after I turned it off and back on again and realised I lost all my save.
Oh
no. But yeah,
because the original game there was no save.
The only reason I'm laughing at you, Brad, is because I did it old school, and there was no saving state and going back and redoing your matching cards game because you remember where they were.
Did you have to leave your console on then the whole time?
Yeah. Well, I played it in sessions. I'm like, right, I've got 4 hours. I'll hit it. So I hit it.
I got through another world.
So could you never save at all back on the SNES? Wow.
Once you died, that was it. That's why you got really good at doing the first 2 worlds.
Yes.
Because you always did the first 2 worlds repeatedly.
But
that's like the run back to the boss.
As I found out after getting frustrated because I lost the whole first world, you can get flutes.
So which I never ended up finding.
No, sorry.
My confession to this one is I do remember where the flute is in the second world. I remember how to use it. Now, I got to world 4 manually, died, got very annoyed, banged the table, the cartridge crashed.
Oh.
No.
There was, and I went, I'm getting a goddamn flute.
Yeah.
Well, I had that same experience of I'm getting a goddamn flute just after losing one world. And there's 2 flutes in the first world, so I got one, and then just all I did was go to world 2 and carry on. So I got to where I was.
15 lives as well. I'd really racked it up. I'd done so well. Yeah. The matching cards worked for me every time. I was stopping the stupid little game all the time. I was doing so well, and the talk about the original NES, sorry, I haven't started it up in I don't know how long. And it's been from pillar to post in garages of mates while I've moved houses, all sorts. So I didn't have very high hopes about starting it up.
It probably needs some new capacitors.
So that's what I thought. I had tried to start it, and it had the blinky red light of doom, which was the NES thing, which is generally just not all the pins are connecting in the cartridge. I have 2 copies of this game somehow. I don't know how. One of them wouldn't work at all. The other one worked if you wedged it to the right. So what I thought I would do was strip it down, clean it. So I opened it all up, cleaned it all up, had a look. There's no capacitors blown or anything on it. So that was a lucky moment. And I was going to buy the cartridge part, the I think it's a 72 pin connector. I was going to just replace that, was the thought, if it wasn't. But when I'd done it, I put the cartridge in with it all open and did the silly thing of turning it on. Don't play with your electrics, people. And I wiggled the cartridge and it started working. So I built it all back together, put it and started playing it. It was fine. I did it on my office desk. So when I banged the desk, it moved the cartridge and crashed. So I then had to hold my breath every time I was playing it because
don't move, nobody move, don't.
Don't open the door.
It sounds like it did work at least.
It did, and I got to play it
old school
properly as well.
I think it's really cool that one of us got to do that.
Yeah,
100%.
So, how was
my
your
biggest
controller feeling after all this time? Is it a bit
fine?
Stiff?
I also have the SNES arcade thing. Actually, what's it called? Let me look.
The SNES Mini.
No. Oh, I'm getting it out to show you guys. I know it's not very good for an audio sound, is it? But,
we can describe it.
Here's one he played
NES
earlier.
Advantage. Google the NES Advantage.
Yes.
Check that out.
What a piece of hardware.
It's a grey square with a joystick
with 2 red
on
buttons.
it. 2 red buttons diagonally placed.
Yep.
Just like a NES controller.
It's quite the weapon. It weighs a ton, actually. They made things better in them days.
You need those fight sticks to weigh a lot. Otherwise, they're flying across the room during a Hadouken.
Well, I've got a 3D mouse for work, and that's like it kind of like a joystick for like moving my 3D models around, and that's heavy, but it has to be so you don't move it around the desk when you're trying to move it.
Yeah.
And every time Lucy picks it up when I'm working from home, she's like, Jesus, I always forget how heavy that is.
Sorry, so how did you guys find it on your emulators?
The emulator worked
I mean, it's fine. I had one time when the frame rate tanked, and there was just because there was loads of enemies on screen. Can't remember what level it was. There was loads of these.
Wait, was it in World 4 by any chance?
Could have been, yeah. Loads of the black ball enemies.
Yes. Yeah. The ones you mean.
Yeah, just loads of them were on screen at once, and the frame rate just tanked. But I still managed to get through the level, so.
Fair.
What other than that, it ran really smooth?
Yeah, and then on yours, Joe?
I found it runs better on this little piece of hardware than it did on the Switch. The Switch to me had loads of input delay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't find that.
So there's your moment. So with the emulator, and the reason I got annoyed with it was one giant feature from the game is removed in an emulator.
Is this your back?
And I only know this. Yeah, the only reason I know this is because of playing it when I was a child.
Yeah.
So I've learned how to play it then, and my brain can't stop playing it like that. So when you do a sprint and a run and you jump, if you turn back, it slows your character down to land in the right place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can't do that on this little piece of hardware.
Yeah, that's why yours is probably better, Joe. Yeah. The emulation from I think it's there was like the little miniature NES that came out, or the little miniature SNES that had them in.
SNES Mini. Yeah.
And I think that's the case for the emulator with the Switch. You can't do it on it.
I don't remember being able to, so I think you're right.
I don't remember trying.
Yeah.
It was it's just because it's how I learned to play it. Yeah. So I just kept missing everything. I kept just over jumping everything.
So whilst we talk about that, then shall we talk about the gameplay?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to break this down.
It is. But, yeah. But if we start with gameplay,
control, damage, and aggression. Yeah. Say it every time.
So playing on the Switch emulator, I found it really precise.
Yes.
For the most part. So really precise. You can definitely see, like, when this game came out, this will be one of, if not the best platformers of the time, because of you pressing the button and the character is doing pretty much exactly what you want to do immediately.
Yeah, I will say I have drift on my analog stick.
That doesn't help.
So I ended up using the just the buttons instead.
I think in the settings you can disable the analog sticks.
I think I did actually. I think I did, just so I used the buttons and I wasn't.
So Mario wasn't taking a walk.
Yeah.
Well, I used the analog stick and didn't really think about it, but thinking about it, there was times when you wouldn't press exactly upwards and you'd be a bit diagonal and it kind of wouldn't do anything. But that's because obviously there's no input for that, so it does make sense. One thing I will say though about the precision is, why is everything so slippy?
Everything's so greasy.
It's because Mario has leather soles on his shoes.
That annoyed me to no end.
Freshly come out of a sewer pipe.
Yeah. There you go.
Most of my little action restarts or whatever, when I'd hold the two triggers and you'd basically be able to go back frames.
Yeah, just because you slipped off.
Yeah, it was just because I slipped off. Constantly slipping.
You may not have noticed, but at the bottom of the screen there is a momentum bar.
Yeah.
There's arrows that go along the screen and then there's a P at the end.
Yeah. So if you run,
that's the momentum bar.
If you build that P up and you've got the raccoon, you can fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually fly.
So you can literally skip levels.
Fly through them.
I gasped. I genuinely just thought that was progress to the end of the level.
No, that's how fast you're running.
I thought the P was the end of the level, like the flag.
No.
Oh,
so you could run.
The reason you've been slipping is because one of those arrows would have been full, so you've got momentum. That's
here we go. Why is there no instructions?
Because back in the day, you would have got
number one, no instructions. I don't know how to do.
Several pieces of paper.
Welcome to my childhood.
In the box called a game manual.
But at least you had a game manual. Why is there not a game manual, like digital?
I don't think it did. It didn't come with
because
Ben's rummaging to find the game manual. £7.
Something that was never there.
£7 it cost.
The game never had an internal manual, so it couldn't tell you anything without one.
True. No, you're right. Oh, he's got it.
I didn't even know.
It tells you all sorts of things. It tells
you stuff.
That is incredible. But I didn't know. Oh my God,
I've got it.
There was actually quite a lot in the game that I didn't know how to do because I didn't realize. Like, there's those random levels where you can pick the
bricks.
The treasure chests.
Yes.
I didn't know what button to press.
There's only two.
Well, yeah, but I was pressing the one I expected it to be. And I was like, it's not doing anything. Why is it not doing anything? I didn't realize it's the other one. But even then, like going down the pipes, I was like, I'm sure it's down. But then I'd press down and it wouldn't go down.
You see, not all pipes can go.
Not all of them you can, but also, but again, it doesn't tell you. But if you're slightly off to the side, it doesn't
you get
work.
about 4 pixels of reference.
So then I was like, okay, I'm pressing the wrong button, clearly. Because it's not doing it, so then I've
no.
I don't think
to go through doors as well.
I don't think it's so bad that it doesn't.
There's not that many things to learn, but I didn't know that the momentum thing and I didn't know how to fly.
I only found that out because I think you can get items, can't you? And you have them in the overworld.
Yeah, and you can start the game with them.
Start the game with them. One of them's a P.
Well, again, the items in the overworld, it didn't tell you how to use them, or you could use them. So I think figured that out by accident.
I think it's. So you
flip the card over and then, so you didn't use them by accident. I think that was why.
Like the hammer, you can hammer through rocks to get, to break, to make shortcuts.
Yeah, fair.
I thought that was so you could start off with like the hammer bro weapon. I never used one.
Yeah.
I thought
top right hand of the second world, if you keep going right before the castle and get the hammer, you can smash a rock and go off to fight a different hammer bro who gives you a whistle.
Oh,
yeah.
That's how you skip to level 7. That's why I got to world 7 this time.
I think all those little things are really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I
secrets
think it's
that you'd only find out
that it doesn't tell you this stuff. You just work it out. You're like, hammer. What could that do? And then you think, there's a rock in the way of the path. Hammer.
Yes, but like Ben having the user manual and it tells you the buttons.
I didn't know I had to use a manual.
But that
just
sort
saying.
of thing. And it's no slight on the game because the game does have a manual, but it's more of a slight on the emulation. That
they didn't have a paper
buttons.
like a scanned-in version.
Yeah, just something in the menu where you could see it. You know what I mean? It would require.
We've been spoiled these days.
Like even as a README text file would have been nice.
This is where it's going to be really important to make a distinction between playing an old game and sort of like judging it for it being an old game and also comparing it to like a newer game. So on a newer game, it would pop up with a button that you had to press.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably, yeah.
This one just gets
squished.
Yeah, but on this one, obviously it didn't because you had the manual, but I didn't. So there was a few things I had to figure out, like flying or gliding with the squirrel costume.
The Tanuki tail.
Yeah.
Like you just keep kind of pressing jump and you kind of hover a bit.
Yes, yeah.
I did think you could hold it, but you can't.
But then you've got your tail whip.
Yeah.
That I couldn't figure out what that did. Yeah, but that didn't
kill stuff.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
it
does.
breaks bricks, but I couldn't get it to kill anything.
No, I couldn't.
No, it kills Goombas. I've killed the
you just got to be timing.
piranha plants with it.
It's difficult timing because
it's quite close to your character as well.
Yeah, because I did it where the tail hit them, but it didn't kill them.
No, it's supposed to. Mine did, yeah.
That could be an emulator moment then, because
unless I had to be a bit closer, but the tail was because it took me ages to get to the point where I could actually get close enough and do it and not just get hit. But then I was getting right next to it and it wasn't doing it.
It definitely is safer to jump, yeah.
But it destroyed the bricks.
Yeah,
but then there was a level I didn't realize it could do that, and I was trying to figure it out for ages. Didn't realize I had to get the costume to break the bricks, but I didn't have the costume, so I had to go back to another level and get the costume. It was things like that where it got a bit frustrating.
I think another one you're talking about, they look like beetles in it. And it was sort of an undergroundy world, and there was
an underground.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And you've got to fly upwards to the top of the level.
You're supposed to use the beetly things. If you hold run when you run into them after jumping on them, you pick them up. You can carry them around.
I've seen images of him carrying these beetles, and I couldn't figure out how to do it because I jumped on them when they were upside down.
With turtles as well.
Yeah, or I'd run up to them and press buttons, and nothing would happen. So I thought, I can't figure this out. So you run into them.
So
where's the logic in that?
well, no, you jump on it first so that it's in its shell,
down,
and then you run up and hold the run button whilst you're next to it, and he'll pick it up.
Yeah,
and then you take it to where you need to kick it. When you let go, he'll just kick it out wherever it is.
That's the first thing I thought because I've seen these images of Mario with, like carrying it. I just couldn't figure out how to pick it up.
Because it was exactly the same. I was like, I'm sure you're supposed to pick these up, but I can't pick them up.
Yeah.
Also, if you're small Mario, you only need to knock one block out. So that's kind of what that was put in for. So you could complete the level.
Yeah. But then I just kind of thought, like, maybe it's a later Mario game where you pick them up.
Anybody figure out the frog suit?
No,
not really.
I only used it in non-water levels.
Yeah,
I thought, this makes your jump so much better.
So it's a water level thing.
I never got it in the water level.
No,
you use the directionals instead of swimming. You don't have to tap A to swim. You literally use directionals, and it goes like a torpedo.
That's cool.
It is cool little things like that. That again, I'm on two sides of the fence here, because on one hand, I wish a bit more was explained, but on the other
frustration.
hand,
It was explained.
I'm glad
somewhere
that
else.
yeah. And on the other hand, I'm glad that they keep some of it a bit secret.
Yeah. I love the fact that the fire flower suit works underwater. So you can just kill all the cheaps and
Yes,
squids.
fire suit was the best.
Oh yeah,
It was.
Throw it out there.
Yeah, definitely is. So what about like I don't know what else, the art design and stuff.
I love the fact it's all a stage show.
Yes.
And that was
you go off set at the end and you're backstage.
And that was
cool.
something that people didn't realize till later, did they?
That's why everything's like screwed into the background.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
If you look at the previous games, the leaps in the way it looked. So just compare it to 1, because that's the one that everyone knows what it looks like. You are so much more of a cleaner world. Like that, it looks more like a drawn cartoon than it does an 8-bit blocky Mario. And I think the progression on that was amazing.
I mean, it's iconic for a reason. Obviously, it's timeless. Like, you're playing it now and you don't look at it. I think I sat next to my mate on the plane and he was like, "Those graphics are a bit shit." I was like, "Liam, it's Mario 3."
I will say, I think Super Mario Bros. 2 looked like a better game. It was so much more colourful and high fidelity.
Yeah, I get
it did feel like a slightly step back to Mario Bros. 3, but I think it's because Super Mario Bros. 2 was initially a different game.
Yeah,
it was called something called like Doki Doki Panic in Japan, and then they put a Mario skin over it.
Yeah,
that's why all the enemies in it are really weird. And that's where the Shy Guys came from.
That only happened in the West. As well, it didn't happen in Japan.
How weird!
Very strange.
That's why you can throw turnips.
Yeah, I think the world.
Just sorry.
I think the Super Mario World aesthetic is better.
Yeah, but that did come out later.
But it did come out later. Yeah. I just prefer that look.
But just in
for
general,
the time, it's timeless.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't, like Ben said many times before, you're playing these games, you just forget it in 10 minutes.
Yeah. And like the character designs, for the most part, like, they're very iconic. Like Mario, the Boo Ghosts, the
reason you remember it so well is because you did it so many goddamn times.
Yes.
Well, even like the music as well, sort of like coming off the back of the art design. Again, iconic.
Yeah. It's just really cool looking back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't come from it with nostalgia goggles. I came from it fresh.
Same, because I'd never been this far back in Mario.
Yeah. I never really played the 2D Marios, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Like I say, I do think, obviously, it's before its time, but the save state would have made a world of difference with them. And I don't think they would have done what they have done, if that makes sense, because more people would have completed it and gone, well, there's no point doing that again.
Maybe, but then there's all the secrets.
There's a lot of secrets, by the way, if you never worked any of them out, because you wouldn't have been able to fly up. There's random pipes in the air that you can just fly up to and go into a little world that's
amazing.
got all the scans in it or something.
It's amazing to me that people back in the day, without like the internet,
would find it.
Or any guides or anything like that, would find stuff like that and be like, wow.
On the flute that I got, it was on World 1, like in World, what would you call it? Episode, I don't know, 3.
Level
3. That's the word I'm looking for.
Back in the day, we had levels.
And you get on this random like block. It's not like a breakable brick. It's like one of those that looks like it's in the background.
Yeah.
And you literally stand on this specific one, hold down for 2 seconds, and then you fall behind the map.
All right.
And when you fall behind the map, then you just run off to the side and you run past the flag and you run off the map, and then you get your flute. Find a secret world and get a flute.
Wow.
Who figured that out?
Who figured that out?
Yeah. Yeah, me.
Because it will have come out in an episode of Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
There's also
weekly
invisible
subscription.
blocks. Invisible blocks in places that you can just hit by jumping by accident in that area.
They used to do my head in.
Yeah. Oh, that just
When
made
I
me
was like,
fall
it's
down
part
a
of the
hole.
level. I can go somewhere else now. I thought they were blocking me off, but they were showing me something.
So
I did find in all the underground worlds where it looked like it had a starry background, you could see where they were because the stars were orange.
Oh, I didn't
know
notice that.
Oh, I never picked up on that.
Yeah, so that was always where there was a hidden block, and I thought, oh, I can use this to my advantage.
Nice one.
So, what about story?
Well, there's a lot more correspondence with Princess Peach than I ever thought I would see.
Yeah, there's a lot of letters from Princess Peach, isn't there?
Yeah.
You're literally just saving a king every world.
It did surprise me.
Yeah.
I was expecting to save Princess Peach and not a random king.
Yeah,
For
the fact that it
a
was
world with
just-
so many kings, it's amazingly peaceful.
Oh no, he's been
No one's
turned
at
into
war.
a dog. Oh
Yes,
no,
or a sea lion.
He's been turned into a sea lion.
So this is where the original Bowser, they're not Bowser kids or whatever they are.
The Koopa kids.
The Koopa kids. That's where these came from.
I did find the bosses to be really disappointing.
Just
Yeah.
jump
They are
3 times.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to not.
But it's the
Not go-
same
not
every
go away from
time.
Yeah.
You just don't go away from them. 1, 2, and 3. Literally,
It's
as soon
bump,
as he
bump,
breaks
bump,
out of as soon as he breaks out of his spiky mode, you're already on top of him again.
Yeah.
It's just so easy.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
until you know to do that,
I mean, it's not like you die and then come back before the boss, like newer games.
The
You
ones
got right to
in the
start
ships
level.
were harder
Yeah.
because they had different mechanics.
Yeah. But
Like the ones that were actually the Koopa kids, where I think one of them started throwing Luxo Junior balls at me 3 at a time, and that was like the hardest one.
yeah, because they have the ones, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other ones, they're just in the castles. They're just nothing.
they're
The
like
Hammer
mini
Bros are
bosses, aren't
harder.
they? Yeah.
Did you guys find any sort of limitations with it being so old? So there's one thing that I noticed is that
Pop in from the right hand side and the top of the screen.
Yes.
well, for one, that was quite bad. But then also anything off screen is just like forgotten about.
gone.
And
Yeah,
again,
Yeah.
Oh, when you go back,
respawn.
it respawns.
yes,
Even if you
but
just killed it.
if you know there's something there and you throw a shell, it's gone.
Yeah. But then
Yeah.
obviously that's limitations of the time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but it's just something that I found quite frustrating
I
because
find shells can bump back from another sort of screen distance, can't they? So
But
you can
only-
hear the bump.
Only against a solid wall, it won't hit an enemy.
Yeah.
Now,
Like,
that's
if you end
something
up
that would
going
always
through
catch
the
me
enemy
out.
and hitting the thing.
Yeah, that would be something that caught me out because in that world of, like you say, a screen's worth of stuff has disappeared.
Yes.
I'd thrown the shell and not expect that to come back, and you hear a bump and it's too late.
Yeah.
see, I always expected it to come back.
The level I was just doing before we recorded this made use of this feature of like things disappearing off screen,
That's clever.
and it was, I think it's world 7, like maybe like level 3 or 4. But the walls
pipe one.
operate like Pac-Man, so you go off left
Yeah, the
screen,
pipe
come on right screen.
That's
So
cool.
anything you threw to the left, it was remembered and came through on the right.
I see. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
In coding, that would have been an entirely different entity to the one that you threw, but it knew to move something over there. So obviously, it is remembering something off screen.
It's a whole load of vertical pipes, and you climb up. Basically,
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Is the
It's cool that they still had loads of ideas as well back then. And
Yeah.
they still have loads of ideas now.
Well, like Super Mario Wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a level that frustrated me, and I don't know if this is a technical limitation, but it was I think it was the last level in World 2, and you're on the ship.
Yeah.
And the camera moves, but completely independent to you.
Yes.
They all do
Yeah.
theirs.
And it just kind of felt like it was
I call them chase levels because
Yes.
it's not just on the ship. There's a few in the worlds
Yeah,
as well. That
and you're
make you
trying
go
to-
to the right.
you're trying to sort of keep up with the camera. I wish it moved with you a bit more. It just
There's
got a bit of frustrating.
I think they
you know
did
what
on
I mean?
purpose though to make
And a lot of the times
Yeah.
that camera movement would kill you because it spawned something in that was off screen
Well,
and where you were.
This
Yeah.
is the thing. So that coupled with the fact that nothing off screen exists, just kind of was like a double whammy of
You've just got to try and stay center frame as much as
Yeah,
you can.
yes, yeah. Which I get it. I suppose it is to make it harder. But
How did you find the swooping sun?
Oh,
hard.
I was stuck on that level for ages because I couldn't get past the whirlwind. I wasn't
Oh,
sure
I
how I
did
was
that
supposed to
one.
get beyond it.
How are you supposed to get past the whirlwind? Properly.
You go,
Sprint and jump.
you go max speed and jump up through it.
Right.
so
okay.
the only way I figured out to do it was Tanuki suit.
Yeah,
You
so
didn't need the
Oh,
sneakers
right,
to
yeah.
you
do it.
didn't need to do it, but
Yeah,
No.
because that was another one of those levels where I was like, I feel like I can't get past this.
Full
Well,
sprint.
it's funny to me that I didn't realize you could sprint until like way later.
Yeah.
I think it was like World 4 where I needed to do it.
To go back through the level and do something.
Same.
So you literally just ran at it and jump.
Yeah. And then the sun gets really mad that you've beat its trick.
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
Well, I didn't think the sun
I
didn't think it would come into the backstage with you. And it was stopping you from reaching the block. Like it kept circling around it and diving at me.
I didn't find that too bad. Really.
The key with that one is just to keep running.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. So they have like a raised set of bricks every so often, don't they, in the level?
Yeah.
Which is supposed to raise you up enough to not get the sun to hit you, but it doesn't. You still have to jump when it swoops. And every single time I'd get to the next point and forget, and it'd hit me. The frustration is beyond me.
There was another little level with those kind of, not the sun, but it was a kind of enemy where you couldn't get away from it. It was the Lakitus. They were dropping loads of those spiky shell dudes on you. And they go as fast as you do and like go left and right. So the only way to beat them is to do it slower, I found.
Right.
Because if you go again, speed, it'll throw one ahead of you and you'll run into it.
I was full tilt and jumping all the way.
Oh, wow. There's a few times I accidentally jumped into it and it killed me.
Yes, you can do it if it doesn't have one above its head, because it holds them for a second. You can kill it, and then you have to go flat out.
Yes,
before it respawns.
Another one comes. Yeah.
Again, it's interesting that there's even just this half-hour conversation. I've learned a lot about the game I didn't know you could do, which is impressive for an old game.
Did you know you could slide down hills on your ass?
Yeah,
and it takes out enemies when you do it.
Yes,
I want to say yes, but I never did it.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a slope.
Yeah, it does end up being faster than running down the hill as well.
Really?
Mm-hmm. How do you actually do it? I think I did it once.
Press down when you're at the top of the hill. And he sits down and slides.
You've also got to be careful because some of them are traps. So there's like a pipe at the bottom with a plank coming out, and you can't stop. So once you've set off, that's it, you're dead.
I swear some of the Dark Souls devs moved on from Mario.
Yes.
Well, it's Miyazaki.
So many endless
there
pits.
you go.
Different Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Yes. Or the same guy.
Yeah.
Where was the poison swamp?
So, shall we move on to final recommendations then?
Yes, I think so.
I think that's a good idea. Shall we start with you, Joe?
Yeah, if you want to be humbled at any time, play this game. Because you could be
just too easy.
You could be a Twitch streamer with 1 million followers, and you'll be embarrassed by this game. Not because it's a bad game, but because you thought you were the balls, and then it'll make you see them.
Oh yeah. Even if you're good at modern Mario, Tortuga Mario's, damn.
It's just so. It's a different league.
Yeah. So, would you recommend?
Oh yeah, I've loved playing this game. I mean, it helped that I already had this emulator handheld thing, because I think when I did try and play it on Switch, I was a bit like, oh, it feels wrong. Something feels off.
Yeah. And
I think because the screen felt too big and it wasn't as sharp, and I don't know if there's something about the Switch emulator which is just a bit blurry. But when I played it on this thing, it was like pixel perfect. Inputs were all 100% on point. There was no delays and anything. I did get a little bit of the like the frame lag, but I think that would have happened on default hardware anyway.
Yeah.
But go play it. And if you can play it on hardware, play it on hardware.
Yeah.
Cool. Ben?
If you can, have a go. See where it all came from. That's what I say about every retro console. The old stuff, I'm not going to say the old stuff is the best stuff, because it's clearly not. But you can see where it came from, and it's a little bit of fun. And as Joe said, if you've got the originals, or if you see an original cheap, pick it up.
Yeah.
Because you find out you've got a book that you didn't know about. I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to take pictures of it. Actually, I'll drop them in the Discord and probably on some of the socials, because it's an interesting little user manual. It's pretty cool.
Don't praise it, because I bet that is worth like 50 quid.
Oh yeah, on its own, without the game.
I was really surprised at the condition of it. I didn't realise how good it was. That's probably why my other one's knackered. Yeah, because I never used this one.
Awesome.
Just there you go.
I can't believe you opened the box, Ben. Its value is $1,000.
I've been playing the damn thing.
Oh no, the corrosion.
So I'd recommend it. Yeah, I think like Ben just said, it's so good to go back and just see
cry a little.
Like the origins of it all. I also agree with Joe with the Dark Souls stuff. It even has shortcuts in the worlds if you fail.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of like the 2D Marios and you really want to go back and play old games, yeah, give it a go. You don't have to play it for long. It's just cool to see. If you're really into emulating and playing and you want to get into like old school gaming, this is one that should be on your list, I think.
One of the original Marios, at least.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's me.
Cool. Well, I've wrestled with my thoughts a lot.
Yeah.
Trying to come up with my recommendation for this. And I've really had to compartmentalize it into thinking of it as a retro game and thinking of it as a modern game. I think that's the fairest thing to do.
Yeah.
Talking about it in 2025. So I think if you're someone with nostalgia for the game when it originally came out, or someone who's got an avid interest in retro gaming and want to see where these things come from, then definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
Try and find a way to play it, whether that's the original or emulate it. It's pretty easy to emulate these days. You can get them on your phones. You can get devices for them. You can get the Switch online. Really
just
easy.
Don't tell Nintendo.
Well, if you get Switch online.
Well,
yeah. So definitely recommend from that point of view. However, if you're someone like me who doesn't have the nostalgia for it and doesn't really necessarily feel the need to go back and play like retro games like this, then it's probably not something I'd recommend. If you really
Nobody likes you, Brad. Nobody likes you.
If you really want to play a platformer, 2D platformer in the modern day, there is so many better options.
Play the new Mario.
Play the new, yeah. You could play the new Mario Wonder, and this has kind of made me want to play the new Mario Wonder. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think it helped that I was playing this at the same time as playing Prince of Persia, because that is incredibly precise. I'd say even more precise than it, but with so many more tools at your disposal, so many more sort of interesting sort of levels, and obviously you've also got your combat on that. It
you didn't even know how to use half the tools.
I know. I'm true.
There was tools I was told about in the game that I never found, like the Goomba shoe.
Yeah, I didn't find that. Yeah.
But even so, like in Mario, you can usually only use one tool at a time. Whereas something like, again, I'm just using Prince of Persia as an example, there's platforming sections where you're using 4 or 5 of your tools at the same time, and it's difficult, but it's interesting.
I think it's a hard comparison because
these games came out 30 years apart.
Yeah.
They're not comparable. Yeah. But if you're someone who wants to all you're doing, you're sitting down, I want to play a platformer or a side-scrolling game or whatever, that's what I want to play now.
Yeah.
Then there was a lot I would recommend before
going back. Yeah.
Mario. If you're someone who wants to play a retro game, or you've got nostalgia for it, then yes, I'd recommend it. So it's just something I've wrestled with.
I definitely get what you mean, because I wouldn't have, if it wasn't for the podcast, wouldn't have played it.
Yeah.
You see, here's a fun one. Yeah. Always, if there's any of you listeners that have kids that are used to playing modern stuff, get them to go and play a game like this and see where it came from, because they will instantly look at you with the disgust of, what do you mean I'm dead?
You played this?
After they've put
lives?
After they've put
no
a couple of hours in.
Again,
no, that's the end.
Some of it, quality of life stuff for newer games is great, like saving. Yeah. But then some of it's quite nice to go back to, having lives and being.
I think the whole
being more careful.
The rewind feature as well, and the save thing is good for that as well.
Yeah.
Too much.
It took me all about 10 minutes before I started using that, because I was getting
I got to the end of World 2.
Yeah.
Purely by myself. World 2 was hard, by the way. And then World 3 I was finding easier, and then at that point I was like, I want to see some more, and I was getting a bit frustrated. That was when it started coming in. And then you just start using it for like unnecessary things. Like I tried to hold back. I tried to go like, okay, that was fair, I'll start the level again.
I was almost like speed running it, because I'd run and leg it and I'd die, like rewind a bit and run and leg it and die. Yeah.
On the point of the game being 30 years old, it's amazing to see if you play this game and then you go and play Mario Odyssey. The difference that 30 years has made to just one character.
Yeah,
that's a fun day.
Yeah,
definitely.
But also, I'm just going to throw it out there. We've had games that we've played on this podcast that we've struggled to talk about.
Yeah,
this we have not struggled to talk about.
No,
I thought we would. I thought we genuinely would.
Yeah,
we've been able to talk about it for at least 40 minutes.
The thing is, you look at games like when the last one I'm thinking of that was quite an old game that we played was probably Fable.
Yeah.
And I had nothing good to say about that.
Yeah.
So I think that's testament to this type of game that it is pretty timeless.
Definitely.
The only other one I can think of is like Pikmin, and that was also more positive than I expected.
Yeah. Sometimes games can just be like that. It just can be timeless.
Clearly Nintendo
just stand
games.
Up. That's it. Yeah. It's good.
Evil corporation.
So that's been this Buried by Backlog. Jake.
Barry? Who's he?
Barry. Barry.
You've been buried.
Guy who sells you consoles.
Next Backlog episode is going to be brought to us by you, Jake.
It is. Well, firstly, I'll just quickly say thanks again to DK for doing Mario.
Tough cack.
Tafcat, because he's now known. Mine is going to be something I've been wanting to play since it came out, and it's very new. And I know that a few of us are already playing it because it's got mega reviews. Expedition 33.
Claire
Obscure, Expedition 33. I just keep calling it Expedition 33.
Yeah, I do the opposite. I keep calling it Claire Obscure.
Une Baguette 33.
And after coming back from Paris, I want to play it even more.
Yeah.
So
it's a good time.
It's cool. A good time
excited to do it. It's nice for us to be a bit more current, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes the Backlog episodes are brand new games, sometimes it's not.
Definitely. It's worked out for me.
This is more of a front log.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. It's worked out.
It's to stop it getting on the backlog.
Yeah. It's worked out that it's my turn as I'm about to start playing it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, that's been us.
It has.
So until next time, which will be the Summer Game Fest episode, which I'm very excited about.
Me too.
So until then, see you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.